from Polideportivo, Alexis Arguello. This is the final day of the 2025 FIBA Men's AmeriCup. Welcome to third place game action. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Javon Shepard as Canada and the United States match up to decide who will go home with silverware in this 20th edition of the tournament. Both teams a little bit stunned yesterday by big quarters out of their opponents. For Canada, a big first quarter by their opponent Argentina, and by the US, a big fourth quarter from Brazil. So Brazil and Argentina match up in the final, but still a lot to be gained here, and more importantly, a lot to be lost. Whoever falls in this game will go home empty from this tournament, Javon.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of tournament play. And when you get to, this positioning, right, you had a chance to play for a gold, and now you're in a bronze medal game. Both these teams are probably disappointed at how they performed yesterday, but the truth of the matter is, on the way back to the light is through the dark, right? And that's what this game, embodies today. So you still have something to play for, and we're talking about a medal, right? USA, I thought they played well enough yesterday to, come out with a victory against Brazil, but then that fourth quarter, they just completely froze up, and it almost seemed like they were lost, didn't really know what to do. The isolation play really bit them in the behind, and you credit Brazil for the way they played. But in terms of Canada, right, they got beat wire to wire in their match, and they have an opportunity to come back out and do something special.
Here is the United States, who yesterday were stunned, to be honest. 34-9. They got outscored in the fourth quarter by Brazil. Went into the fourth leading by 10, and we did not expect them to be in this game, but they are still one of the top scoring teams in the tournament, and at times have been one of the more dominant forces. They'll try and use that scoring knack to get themselves into a medal position in this game. And some of the younger players like Javonte Smart, Jamias Ramsey, who just came out, have been a big part of that scoring for USA.
Yeah, and you mentioned Javonte Smart, who's 4 for 12 yesterday. I think, when they've been at their best is when he's been playing really good basketball. But if USA watched any of that game or scouted any of that game against Canada yesterday, Argentina versus Canada yesterday, this game isn't going to be won on the offensive side of the floor, right? You've got to really be physical and get into Canada, make things difficult for them, take away, the Keyshawn Georges, take away the Leonard Millers, and, take away their guard play. And USA has the tools to do it. Now, are those guys going to be committed to the defensive end of the floor and the physicality? That's what their focus has to be.
The United States finish off with Tyler Kavanaugh coming out. And now here is Canada. Went into yesterday the only undefeated team in the tournament. But like you said, Javon, wire to wire, they were beaten. And I don't think it was a huge shock that they were beaten. Argentina is a very talented team, the defending champs. But how they were beaten, I think, surprised many around this tournament.
Yeah, and I think this is a better matchup for Canada, right? It's going to be a lot more guard play, a lot more wing play, whereas that game, especially for a young team like Canada, that game against Argentina kind of caught them by surprise, right? That's a team that has more of a European flair. And I also don't think that Canada's group play really helped them because they kind of just cakewalk through it. But now you have an opportunity to rewrite that. Now you have an opportunity to go out here and medal. And, you'd hope you see Leonard Miller checking in, Marcus Carr, played decently yesterday as well. Those young guys, that was a great experience yesterday. Now you have an opportunity to show that you've grown from it, right? And grow quick. You have to grow fast, especially in international FIBA play. So, I'm expecting them to come out and still have that chip against their shoulder. And, there's all the discourse, there's a lot of conversation about USA's talent level and Canada's, talent level, having the second most, NBA players outside of USA. And now the talent is here, right? So this is another one of those opportunities for everybody to match up, compete, and I'm sure they want to send a message to one another.
Canada has not medaled at this competition since 2015. They will try and do that today. But first we pause for the national anthems.
Muchas gracias. Mismo respeto para escuchar a continuación el himno de Canadá. Muchísimas gracias.
Invitamos a los equipos al saludo protocolario e intercambio de regalos.
Nathaniel Mitchell and Steven Silas exchanging gifts as we get set for the third place game in Managua. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Javon Shepard. It's Canada and the United States. Referees for the contest coming up tonight, or today rather, Julio Anaya from Panama, Daniel Garcia from Venezuela, and Alan Dos Santos from Brazil manage today's game. The USA steps away last night from reaching the final, have to regroup and try to find a way to get a medal. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. And we talked a little bit about some of the young players. Langston Galloway scored 20 points in a quarter yesterday, Javon, although we went scoreless in the second half. So who really knows what we will see today?
Yeah, you really don't know. And with them, a talented player, he also has experience, a ton of experience. So I'm sure he's going to come out here and be ready to play because he knows what's at stake. But some of the other guys as well on that team, Javonte Smart, who has had himself an incredible, week so far, and was also inserted into that lineup, right? You'd have to imagine the guards of USA are going to be up for a big task, a tall task, a big challenge.
On the other side, Canada, while they didn't get a lot of production yesterday, Marcus Carr into the starting lineup. He was maybe the best Canadian on the floor in the game yesterday.
Yeah, probably the best Canadian on the floor because, the brand of basketball that he plays. He's a go-getter. He's in your face. He's rah, rah, rah. He's physical, and he was definitely prepared for that type of, war. You also see Nate Darling in the starting lineup adding some shooting there for Canada as well to space that floor. So you got, a three-level attack with Marcus Carr. You're adding some shooting on the perimeter. You're hoping guys like Keyshawn George and Leonard Miller have a day, right? And not just scoring the basketball, but having a big presence, right? And I think for Leonard, he's going to be a big part of if Canada's going to have success today because he's got to play like a big-time athlete. He's got to, impose his size, his length, and his athleticism, playing above the rim, right? Dominating on the rebounds, the rebounding side of the floor, the block shots and rim protection and getting out and getting Canada some easy baskets, rolling hard to the rim so that he's a focal point, can have that gravity that the basketball can be popped around the floor and guys can get some easy shots. So got to grow fast from yesterday, and obviously Kevin Gelly in the lineup, you see him there checking in as well. He's going to be playing like a force. You know what you're going to get with him. That's one thing, one player that you do know. You're going to get physicality, you're going to get toughness, you're going to get the real, right? And he's up for it. So that's going to be a battle with him and Cooley down low. But it's going to be a good one. It's a good one. Two teams that, and I know we've said it a couple times this week where, before the ball's tipped up, we're saying, hey, these two teams play contrasting styles. Well, here's two teams that play very similarly in terms of their style and brand.
It'll be Canada in red and the United States of America in white. Keanu Cavangeli taking the tip for Canada. Jack Cooley will tip it off for the United States. And our third place game is underway with Canada controlling the ball first. Hunter Miller rejecting, giving it to Carr, now hands it to him over half. Right back to Miller. And Nate Darling, he'll hoist up a three, and it rolls out. Three-point shooting was a struggle for Canada in their loss in the semifinal. First possession, United States. Langston Galloway, the captain, around to the baseline. Finger roll too strong. Miller tips it over his own rim to secure the rebound. Carr, Texas Longhorn, when he finished up college, bounces it inside Kabengele over the top. Size mismatch, but they kick it out. Kabengele three. And a rebound on the floor there. Carr dives in, and he'll lay it in. A bunch of U.S. players leak down the floor.
Good hustle play by Carr there, right? Getting in there and seeing that basketball come off the rim. Kabengele stepping out to the three-point line to avoid taking the long two.
Switch gets Galloway a bit. Now Tyler Cavanaugh swings to Smart. Into the paint, and a strip by Darling, who might have got caught up high by Cooley. 4-on-4. George lob, and a couple of tips there missed by Miller. Rebound Cavanaugh, missed opportunity for Canada.
Got to convert those, right? Those got to be counted as two, right? You can tell by USA's attack, they want to exploit that matchup against Nate Darling.
And a miss there inside by Cooley. Last touch USA. Canada gets it back.
Great hands there by Darling, not allowing Cooley to turn over the shoulder and get the easy one up. Good job holding him off, standing your ground, lower center of gravity, quick hands to swipe the basketball out.
Leonard Miller of the Minnesota Timberwolves, dribbling with his right hand, gives it off Marcus Carr. And a drive, right side, floats it up to Kabengele.
That's what I told you, there's one guy on this team, especially from the guard position, that's going to be a go-getter, Marcus Carr. He's ready for this type of basketball.
Four 0 start for Canada, but Galloway off the mark with the three there. Offensive board, Cavanaugh. Smart driving inside, and it's tipped by George. It came off his left hand out of bounds.
You know, you got to give Nate Darling credit, right? They've attacked him a couple possessions, and he's definitely held his own, moved his feet, been tough. Just sending a message that, you know, he's not the matchup you want.
Three straight away for Galloway. It's good. They pinned down Darling that time with a screen and created space. Kabengele, pass intercepted there. Galloway with the steal. Here's Cavanaugh. Right at Kabengele, and the shot affected by the contest. Good hustle after he turned it over by Mfiondu Kabengele. Now a transition three, and an offensive board. Kabengele bumped. He'll go to the line. Cooley with the foul, first of the game.
Another offensive rebound for Canada. Kabengele coming up with that one, sticking to it. Riding a great cross-court pass by George in the corner. You see the alley-oop to Kabengele.
USA looking for maybe a little bit more of a stretch big or an athletic big now is going to go with Robert Baker off the bench. He subs in for Cooley, who just picked up the game's first foul. It's been a really nice tournament for Mfiondu Kabengele. 12 points per game for him, and he shot it near 80% from the field. Makes them both Canada up 6-3, 3 minutes into this game. Jerry Grant. Now baseline drive, Cavanaugh. Good tip there, using his length again, George, with a second deflection already.
And that's good activity, right? Using his length, getting this deflection there. Marcus Carr, you know, just stopping the flow of their offense, top blocking. Javonte Smart trying to get to the basketball at the top of the key.
Over the defense to Grant. 6 years in the NBA for him. He turns around And the shot no good. A rebound for Kabengele. Carr weaving his way inside, scooping it up. Kabengele finishes. He is all over the glass with 6 points already.
Doing a good job of just being around there, cleaning it up. But Marcus Carr is the one putting pressure on the rim with his attack. And because he gets to the basket, defense is stepping up, and Kabengele can get an offensive rebound.
Great hustle there by Smart to set up the grand three. Smart found his own miss and tipped it back. George behind the back. And out to Carr again. No foul there. Carr reacted like maybe he thought a whistle was coming. Now we'll pick and roll again. Kabengele tried to one-hand it there. Somehow gets back to Carr. Inside, Miller's first bucket of the game. And Marcus Carr up to a couple of assists. So it's Canada inside right now versus the United States on the outside. Grant. And Smart all the way to the rim.
Smart there, attacking the closeout, right? Grant playing a little bit of one-on-one. And if Canada can neutralize him and neutralize the isolation basketball, he's still got to be able to get out and recover on the kickouts.
Carr stepping in once more. Darling's going to hoist up a three. And a foul underneath goes against Rob Baker. Kabengele continuing to be a presence inside.
Yeah, he's working, right? The energy, the effort that he's playing with, as well as Marcus Carr, is really leading Canada right now, shouldering a lot of the responsibility for him.
So that is Baker's first, USA's second. U.S. brings Ramsey on for Galloway. Jarius Ramsey into the game. And it'll be Fiano Kabengele coming off now after a very nice first 5 minutes. And Thomas Kennedy is on for the Canadians. They get the ball right to Kennedy. And he feeds Miller. Five to shoot, Marcus Carr. Down low, Kennedy. Bullies his man inside. Reverse lay-in good as he found the mismatch with Grant. Canada early stages. Here's Grant. Good feed through two defenders. Pass across the key and a great finish again by Smart. Weaved his way through two, put it up with the left. Miller probing. Was looking for Kennedy, has to turn it back. Now he'll screen and roll. Good feed. And the finish no good there. Baker came back to contest. Duel underneath. George and Kavanaugh. George commits a foul. They were hand fighting all the way from the three-point line down to the block. '31-year-old Kavanaugh against a 21-year-old George. George's first and Canada's first foul, and now Canada bringing in a little more experience as they take George and Miller off the two 21-year-old NBA players, bring on Trey Haynes and Kyle Wiltshire, two oldest players on the roster.
Now they have two really good ball handlers in Mel Haynes and Marcus Carr, and you have Wiltshire that can stretch the floor and Darling that can stretch the floor. And if you know Trey Haynes comes in and checks in and keeps attacking similar to how Marcus Carr has in this first quarter, then a lot of things are going to open up for those two guys.
Kavanaugh goes 2 for 2 at the line and checks out Cam Reynolds in for the United States. Through 6 minutes, we are tied. Canada and USA in the third place game. Carr in again. Jump pass. And an up and down there by Kennedy.
Kennedy just got caught thinking about it, right? She just went right up. Got a shot attempt as opposed to a turnover there.
And Marcus Carr now will come out of the game. David Mooncat comes in. After about 6 minutes on the floor for Carr, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Pass over the top and to the corner. Ramsey hoisting a three and connecting USA with their first lead of the game.
Baker with that, he did a good job of rolling big, gets the catch, and then just making the pass on the move to Ramsey in that right corner.
Roll into the hoop. Kennedy blocked, but a foul. USA was getting ready to run out on the break. Instead, Thomas Kennedy goes to the line.
Campeón en Canadá, sale de la ingresa George.
Foul goes on Javonte Smart, his first, USA's third. And Keontae George back in for Canada. Subbing out of the game is Nate Darling. Thomas Kennedy, star at the University of Windsor in southwestern Ontario. 2022-23 U Sports Player of the Year amongst collegiate players in Canada. He splits the trip there to make it a 2-point game. Kennedy will commit a foul on Rob Baker. That's his first in Canada's second, 7 minutes into the game. Speedy Smith just in for the United States. Working on Kennedy, behind the back dribble, pulls up for three, and a long board in the hands of Smart, but Mooncat rips it away for the Canadians. And a double dribble, turnover. Canada sub brings Kennedy off, Kevin Gallagher.
You notice that neither team has really been able to get flow or rhythm. My point earlier, you can see that they play very similarly.
Yeah, for the two highest scoring teams in the group stage, this has not necessarily been free-flowing offense so far, and both are still trying to get to 20 points here as another Canadian foul is committed.
Well, right now, the talent, style, and athleticism is neutralized for both teams, right? So it really is going to boil down to execution and coach's adjustment tactically as the game goes on.
It's Keyshawn George who just picked up his second foul, Canada's third, so they got to take him right back off. And Nate Darling is back into the game. Bounce pass to no one, 2-on-1 Canada. Kevin Gelle dumps it off Bell Haynes, and it's USA ball. Canadians incensed with that ball, and I think they're just going to ask for a challenge right now.
Kevin Gelle also may have missed Trey Bell Haynes on the right side in the open court.
Yeah, it seemed like he only recognized him late.
Just a little bit late, yeah.
And we're going to have our first review of the game, so we'll hand it over to the referee.
Head coach challenge by red to see which team caused the ball to go out of bounds. The position on the floor is white ball. Can you go at the moment of the tip, please? Go. Stop there. Go back. Stop there. Yes, this one. Go. So we got now white, red. Go forward. Can you go back again? I believe it's red the last you touch, right? Again, white. Now is the finger of the red, the last one. Okay. One more time, please. Yes, we got white, and red now. Yeah, the last finger is the red. So after review, we got a white ball on the baseline. You make the signal for white, yes.
So the call will remain the same after the challenge, and the United States still has it there. Kabengele throwing it over to Karn. It just raised a fingertip of Bell Haynes after the tip by Smart. Speedy Smith, over half for the United States. 15-13 USA, 7.5 into the game. Smart fake, gets a step, and now a jump pass. Baker will hoist. And an offensive board by Smart. He's been a beast early on, feeding a cutting Baker to score.
That's a big-time rebound and also a big-time find. Baker crashing and cutting right down the center of the key.
2 rebounds for Smart, both of them on the offensive glass. And a tip, and a USA steal. United States barely keeps it in. Smart, though, has a big on him in Kabengele, and he'll drive, and he'll go all the way to the hoop.
That is a tough take. Smart on the floor, looks like he's a little banged up. Hopefully he's all right. He's playing good basketball. You can't say anything about it. Right, last possession where he comes up with the offensive rebound here, cuts off the angle. Kabengele, a nice touch off the glass, extending away from him while seeing him out of his peripheral. That is tough. That is really tough. On the other end, Canada's getting what they want out of their action. Right, they have Wilshire rolling to the basket, getting the defense on his high side. But a couple times now they try to make their entry pass, it just hasn't gotten there. Also running a couple of their cross screens to get, some post looks to Keyshawn George, and they haven't been able to get it in there.
Let's listen in now to Nate Mitchell in Canada's huddle.
Come back. David, you're flooding. Be red, you go behind. Throw back, look. I'm sending the double jump. No, you're out. Leonard's in for you. Okay? 1-12. All right? Let's go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. He's shot.
7-1 run right now for the United States, and they are leading by 6. Looking to take home what would be a second straight bronze in the AmeriCup. Javonte Smart has his hands all over this game early on. We'll see if he breaks the huddle here. It looks like he's going to be on the floor. He will be for the U.S.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to keep a competitor off the floor, especially when you have a chance at a medal. And he started out this game and playing exceptionally well. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with it, right? So you can tell he's locked in and going.
Trey Bell Haynes over the defense. Miller, and it's poked away by a help defender. Zach August just checking in. USA with numbers in Ramsey inside, making a 9-1 USA run.
Turnovers for Canada starting to hurt, right? Their 7th turnover there, trying to enter it into post, and August coming off the left side, weak side there for a good tip that forces that transition.
Chance of USA as Bell Haynes goes in with the right to stop the U.S. run. Under a minute to go first quarter. Ramsey. Nearly lost it there on the logo. Now we'll pull up over Wiltshire. Good defense, better offense.
That was good defense. Wiltshire moving his feet. Ramsey after the slip, still finding a way to make the shot.
Inside to Kyle Wiltshire, wraps it around. Canada swing to Miller. And Mooncat putting up a 3, and he connects.
That's good ball movement.
First triple of the game for Canada in 5 tries. Right back to Ramsey, who hit a great shot a moment ago, and across to Smart.
They want to get one shot here.
Smart nearly losing it. 2 to shoot, poked away, and that will do it for the quarter. United States taking control in the latter half of the big run to take a 5-point lead into the break.
Yeah, they did a good job of just forcing Canada into turnovers and sitting on, a couple of the actions that they were looking for, getting the basketball into the post. They got themselves off transition, got some easy looks, but also the offensive rebounding, right? And led by Javonte Smart with, his 6 points, his 3 assists, his energy, and Jamias Ramsey with 7 points as well.
So the United States looking to beat Canada in a third-place game for the second straight AmeriCup in the 20th edition. Leads right now 28-13 as we took a preview back at the best plays of the quarter. Second quarter about to start at Polideportivo. Alexis Arguello. Scan that QR code. Download the Courtside 1891 app for live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of basketball, including Eurobasket, going on right now. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Javon Shepard. It's the second quarter between Canada and the U.S. in the third-place game in Managua. Langston Galloway back on the floor for the U.S. He has the ball, joined by August Reynolds, Ramsey, and Smith. Ramsey to Galloway again for Canada. Bell Haynes, Darling, Miller, Carr, and Wiltshire. Over the top, and an interception there. Bell Haynes with the steal. Right to the rim, takes contact. Tap back, no good by Miller. Speedy Smith, 1 assist so far. Bench guard gives to Galloway and gets it right back. Inside August, fouled by Miller, and that was on the floor.
A good wrap up by Miller before August could go up. And August doing a good job of sealing under the basket, ducking him all the way under. Right, left Miller no option but to just wrap him up.
First foul on Miller in the game, and the first foul on Canada in this quarter. Smith to August. And a good cut to the hoop, Galloway. Nearly out of bounds, wraps it around. Ramsey three. Straight on, he missed it. And Carr ahead, pass deflected. Canada waiting for help. Now plays in the half court.
Yeah, there's a matchup there with Wiltshire. Now they get it to him against Smith.
He'll float it up. And a little too strong there. Maybe too much on the line for Wiltshire. Rebound Reynolds. Smith across the court. Ramsey trying another three. And hit it.
Yeah, they found him twice there. Smith, right, defense goes under the screen. He just blows by, gets downhill, and makes a great play, kicking that basketball out to the second side in the corner. And Ramsey spotting up.
Make it a game-high 10 for Jamias Ramsey, clearly the leading scorer. Carr, kick out to no one. Do wonder why Kabengele has not been on the floor much so far for Canada. Only 6 minutes for him. It was the Carr and Kabengele combo that had them in the lead early on. Smith over to Reynolds. Bounce feed, Galloway cutting to the hoop. All USA up by 10.
Yeah, that one's tough, right? Wiltshire has to come across the floor. He's in, right under the basket in help position. Miller's got to make a decision on the weak side when that basketball gets kicked out, just to stop it, slow down the basketball a bit.
Over the top, Wiltshire bumped, and a foul there by Galloway.
And that's the look, right? Wilshire's gotten that look a couple times under the basket, right? And if he can keep getting there and keep getting that deep, right? The perimeter players of Canada just got to find a way to get it to him there. get it in, he picks up the foul, but that's a look they got to continue to go to. Haven't got it in and got, you know, seen it develop into some points, but still a really good look for Canada.
Cabangele back in, Miller out for the Canadians. Had to get it in there, and a near turnover. Darling saves it into Cabangele. USA defender on the floor as Cabangele ducks. Didn't see exactly what happened under the bucket. Is that Zach August on the floor right now? I believe it is. And in some pain there. Helped up by his teammates. We saw the same thing yesterday, and you wonder if they'll go to the monitor again. They called a similar play, an unsportsmanlike foul on Cabangele. I don't really think there's any intent there, but that's twice in two games.
Definitely unintentional, but I think a part of it, he's trying to crash, right? And and sometimes you're taught to swim over, and the elbow gets clipped, and you see that's twice now that left elbow. This is above the shoulders.
First main camera, normal speed, please. Thank you. Go. So we got red number 5. And you go back again. Yes. And stop at the con. Stop there. Stop there. Stop there. Stop there. And we got the tie, please. And you go back. Back. And then normal speed. You got reds coming in. You go back. I think okay, we have a contact on the face with the elbow, but he's trying to swing his arm from one side to the other. What do you think in the play? I think it matched at least for a person like that. What do you have there? Yeah. So we agree with a person like that, but what do you think about if... Yeah. Do you think a person like that is okay? So I agree. So after review, the content matches criteria for act of violence. We will have a sportsmanlike foul on red number 5. White 13 will choose 2 free throws. Okay, I make the signal. We got a sportsmanlike foul on number 5. We got the elbow, 2 shots, and the ball will be for white in the baseline. We got 2, and the ball in the baseline.
So it will be an unsportsmanlike foul there on Cabangele. 2 shots for the U.S. handball.
Yeah, we seen that call yesterday, so it's pretty consistent, right? It's just unfortunate for Cabangele because, again, I don't think there's anything intentional there. He's really just, you know, trying to swim around and get over the defense. Both players playing hard and ends up getting clipped.
So both missed by Zach August. USA was going to have the ball anyway, so they take it back now.
Good break for Canada.
Yeah, seriously. A foul first on Cabangele and the second on Canada. Smith will give it off to Galloway to get over half. Back to Smith again. Louisiana Tech alum. Their all-time assist and steal leader. Galloway to the rim. Missed it with the right and a tap back there by Reynolds. U.S. so active on the offensive glass so far.
Yeah, it's 5 offensive rebounds for them, right? And 10 second chance points.
Both teams have done a better job rebounding on the offensive end than the defensive end thus far. Darling, kick out. Cabangele thought about the 3. Now he'll scoop to the hoop and score. Don't usually see him drive 3-point line to the rim. Ramsey on a drive, falling away, forced it up off the window. Might have thought he had a foul. Darling, Cabangele with the left, and Canada back to 6. Beyondu Cabangele up to 12 points in the game. Galloway mid-range. Rebound there for Wiltshire. Board is starting to tilt in the direction of the U.S. hoop right now as Carr goes downhill, takes contact, and he'll go to the line.
The great last few possessions for Canada. Led by Cabangele's energy, and now you get Marcus Carr in transition. right? Really pushing the basketball and picks up the foul there, right? Still just a 6-point game, and you really haven't seen much flow out of Canada, right? So if they can chip away at this thing right here and start to build some momentum, start to build some, you know, energy, some spirit in their favor, right? You're in good striking distance.
Reynolds, August off for the U.S. Cooley and Kavanaugh on. That was Langston Galloway charged with the foul, his second and the U.S.'s second of the quarter. Four-point game. Marcus Carr off to a nice start. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in about 10 minutes for him. 3 on the way by Ramsey, and a rebound, Kabengele. Mooncat now on for Canada with Darling out. They've also brought George back into the game as well. No more George on the bench as another foul is committed. That'll be the 3rd on the U.S. already in the quarter. Marcus Carr hauled down.
You see Marcus Carr, the good use of the hostage dribble, has Smith on his backside.
Foul on Speedy Smith as Grant comes in for Ramsey on the U.S. side. Smith with 1 foul now in the game. They're looking to get it.
There's a post up.
George off the glass and iron and out. Galloway from the corner, and he hits.
That's tough. That is tough, right? They're looking for the post up, and Mooncat again was sunk in, giving a little extra help, and that's just a great pass. And Galloway knocking down a big-time shot.
Carr snakes his way to the baseline. Cutter now George, and Mooncat drives. Driving his shoulder into his man, flung it off the backboard. A little bit out of control there, and the USA can push their lead back up again. Get that switch. Cooley screened Mooncat a few times. Smith against Kabengele. Good defense and better offense.
That's just a tough shot. You can't play better defense than that, right? Kabengele moving his feet, contesting. Smith really didn't have anywhere to go. He didn't even want to put the shot up, it looked like, and just heaved it up there, right? And just knocked down a tough one. That's one you live with that if you're Canada, because you've done a great job there of defending. Right now, USA just shooting lights out from the 3-point line, 6 for 12, 50% from there, while Canada's just 1 for 5.
Timeout Canada. Let's go back into Nathaniel Mitchell's huddle.
Trey in the corner here. Marcus. Key. Kyle. Marcus. Huh? You're going to be underneath. All you're going to do, you're going to DHO the key. You're going to pin down. Right? As he comes up, you're going to dribble, hand off to Trey. You're going to go set this ball screen right here. Okay? And we're going to roll. You're going to attack. You have Kyle here and Keyshawn on the 2 side. Trey, you're on the strong. You're going to end up on the, Marcus going to end up on the strong side. Okay? Hey, you got to get some stops, man. Come on.
USA has matched their largest lead in the game. They are up by 10 once again, and there you see what you were talking about, the discrepancy from beyond the arc, which has really existed right from tip, even when Canada was leading early on.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're shooting the basketball that well from 3-point line, we're talking about 50%, and it makes it hard, right? Because Canada's chipping away at this game with 2s and free throws, and you know, you're coming down and you're getting outscored at the 3-point line by 15 on a high percentage at that.
See if the Canadians continue to go inside, or maybe if they work it to the arc a little bit more. This game and their semifinal loss. Three-point shooting had not gone to plan, but there is a big alley-oop jam.
Great job with the weave and Capinghelli rolling. Trey Bell-Haynes putting the basketball right on the money.
Mismatch inside, poked away by Carr, who's fighting with Kavanaugh. They're banging against each other as Kavanaugh hits the turnaround.
Yeah, and you know what? That's just two guys competing, right? Kavanaugh and Carr didn't let up. Kavanaugh had to make a tough one. Had to wrestle. Had to fight.
Bell-Haynes, Capinghelli putting it up from three. And a rebound by Grant Canada, now 1 for 6 from deep.
Same action they ran there. Got the rescreen, and Trey Bell-Haynes has come off and be a scorer as well.
Kavanaugh triple try, good. 13-point advantage, USA. Canada does not have any more timeouts in this half, so they're going to have to find a way to stop the USA run themselves.
And it's funny, USA shot the basketball 25% yesterday, 7 for 27 from the three-point line, and today it's a completely different day.
Marcus Carr stepping in for the bucket, up to 6. USA trying to medal in a 3rd straight AmeriCup. It's Galloway on the drive. And a good kick there to stop an open corner 3. Bell-Haynes stuck a foot in the way as the USA was swinging it around quickly. Now subs both sides. Speedy Smith off, Javante Smart on the USA side. You just saw that big jam from Capinghelli. He's off with Keyshawn George. Kennedy and Wiltshire are on for Canada. And now the USA is going to call timeout. Well, they have strung together a nice first half, the United States. Similar to yesterday, have come out firing and maybe a little more well-distributed today than yesterday when it felt like it was all Galloway. Today, Galloway 8-10 from Ramsey, 7 from Kavanaugh, 6 from Smart. They've really shared the ball well so far. 12 assists on 16 made field goals.
Yeah, I thought they've shared the ball well. They also look a bit more patient than they did yesterday, you know, in their matchup with Brazil, especially late in the game, and, you know, trusting what they're running, right, letting it develop. And you know, they've really utilized the cross-court pass into the corner and forcing, you know, that last rotation, and guys have knocked down shots for them from the three-point line. So, you know, just a lot more patient today and definitely trusting their offense a little more and making the defense work.
Now 7 for 13 from three-point range are the United States. Overall shooting over 50% from the floor. Langston Galloway, veteran of over 450 NBA games across 8 seasons, mostly as a New York Knick and a Detroit Piston. Smart inbound to Galloway. Grant, great move to lose Bell-Haynes. Missed the shot, and a rebound for Canada.
Kavanaugh came across there into the space, so poor spacing for Galloway to take that shot.
Bell-Haynes inside, stripped, and it hit a U.S. body. I believe it hit Smart under the hoop. And Smart might have been poked in the eye on that sequence as well. More shooting on for Canada. Nate Darling entering the game. After that ball that went off Javante Smart, David Mooncat has checked out. Carr's got to get it in here and does last second. Wiltshire 3. And a rebound there for August, who just checked in for Jack Cooley. Galloway fouled. Wiltshire gets him there. Canada with some fouls to give their third of the quarter. Kyle Wilcher's first. Spin by Smart, double stops and entry pass for the moment. Lob over the top, touch pass to an August jam. That is great USA basketball.
Yeah, and you know, when they have, Canada has a smaller lineup of Trayvell Haynes, Marcus Carr, and Nate Darling, USA is really trying to find a way to punch that basketball inside. Great interior passing there.
Bell Haynes for three, and this is why you have the smaller lineup on to try and shoot your way back into it.
Yeah, guys just got to remember that these scores, right? Just be in the moment.
Kick out Kavanaugh for three. And it's good. USA hitting everything right now. They're 8 for 15 from deep. Wilcher screens for Carr. Darling. Back to Wilcher. He'll post Grant. And he went all the way to the rim.
That is nice.
Trap near half, Kennedy poke away, and Grant. Thumbs up from the referee that was all good, no over and back. Mismatch inside. August looking to exploit it, and a wrap up there by Darling. That'll be his first foul, team's fourth.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It almost looked like Darling was waiting for some help to come on the baseline, but again, smart play, not allowing August to just go up with the basket.
Canada going even smaller now in some ways, or not. They're going to bring Kabengele on too. Wilcher off, Mooncat on, Kennedy off, Kabengele on. And with 35 seconds left, another Canadian foul would mean free throws for the USA. Quick swing, Smart corner three, good again.
Yeah, right now they're just shrinking the floor, right? Ball goes inside, defense shrinks. Now they're kicking it out in 2 passes to the corner, something that we saw a lot of yesterday from Argentina.
Could be the last possession of the half, but a half-second differential, game clock, shot clock. Carr, given room to move, into Kabengele, and he'll shovel it in. And at the half, the USA leading by 12. Shooting really well, and they've just been on the front foot really since midway through the first quarter.
You know what, man, they've just had some really, it's just hot shooting, right? 9 for 16 from the three-point line, moving the basketball, 15 assists on their 19 made baskets, right? You think about it, 15 assists on 19 made baskets, and then they forced Canada into, you know, a number of turnovers, 7 turnovers. So I thought Canada did a better job of taking care of the basketball in the second quarter, but by then, you know, USA has already been in a rhythm, shooting the basketball, and they start to move it, it starts to pop. It makes it a lot more difficult to defend because they're not putting it on the floor as much and playing as much isolation basketball.
The rebounding battle in favor of Canada. The better ball movement, as you can see from the assists, more likely with the U.S. And although Fiondu Kabengele has had a great first half, the scoring all around from the United States of America has them in front by a dozen here in a rematch of the 2022 third place game. Let's look back at the best plays from the second quarter. 49-37 at the break in favor of the U.S. 2 more quarters to decide who takes home bronze in the AmeriCup. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
For Venezuela, the inbound pass there by Mijares. Medina on the floor. Here's Centeno inside for a flush. In transition, Elion Centeno.
Ruiz, and here still picks up with another steal.
Oh, the block by Prasad. I'm sorry, by Vaulette. O'Neal caught off guard, and then
Von Blair, 6'3", typically a shooting guard.
Great move, Roque to the rim.
Yeah, I like his game. He's been tenacious throughout the tournament. That's actually one of the plays of the tournament, I'm not gonna lie. Garcia, not particularly liking that 3, but a nice steal here for Rodriguez.
2-on-1, Rodriguez blocked. Armstrong picks up the board and he'll slow it down.
You got to do something, though. You can't just let it go up for a dunk. Uncontested.
Jackson inside, poster jam.
I think that was Angola.
It was Angola, you're right. Angola inside with a huge throwdown. 14 points for him, still leading the game. Hasn't scored in this quarter, and he just missed again. Great rebound flying in by Soriano. Other way, hey! And we are tied on El Nunez. Gets the switch onto a big in August. Bridgewater to the hoop, blocked by August. Zach August with a block. The U.S. has to foul. Main man, he drives inside. Kick out, open 3 for the tie. It's short, offensive board. Second chance to tie. He got it! He got it! At the buzzer, Franco Miller Jr. And we're going to overtime. Are you kidding me? Brazil comes down with the rebound. Go behind the back, and that gets claps from almost all the fans in attendance, Brazil or neutral, on a highlight reel play. They go to Fernandez for the win. Argentina victorious!
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
United States right now in front of Canada, looking for a third place here at the AmeriCup. And off the bench, Jamias Ramsey, one of the many Americans to shoot it well so far in this game.
Yeah, and if you think about the looks that he's getting, right, a lot of them have been corner looks, a lot of them have been, off of the pass. So he's doing a good job of just spacing the floor and being shot ready. They've had balanced scoring. He's just been the beneficiary of a couple in transition and a couple of those, kickouts off of the defense rotating. And he's been ready for those opportunities, right? And limited dribbles, so you really have to give him credit. In fact, he was one of the first players, one of the only players that was out on the floor with about 20 minutes to go to warm up, while most of the USA to start the game, before the beginning of the game, would have been typically on the floor warming up. He was one of the only guys out there, so I'm not a surprise that he's knocking down the shots that he is today off a lot of those kickouts.
And the game's leading scorer overall is Fiondu Kabengele, who's rocked the rim a couple of times en route to 16 and 7 rebounds in the first half.
Yeah, he's just playing really aggressive, right? Doing a lot of the dirty work, sticking his nose in there. The 16 points is one thing, but the 7 rebounds, and he has 3 offensive boards like you see there. So he's just one of the guys that's playing with some force for Canada, playing with some energy for Canada. And if they want to, have a chance at winning this game, right, everybody's got to elevate and pick their play up so that it can match the energy and the toughness and the fierceness of Kabengele.
Over 2/3 of the Canadian points right now have been scored inside the paint, and Kabengele with a large share of those. He scored the last bucket of the half to get Canada back to down 12, but right now it is the U.S. looking good as they try to repeat for a bronze medal at the AmeriCup, leading 49-37 at the halftime break. About 3 minutes away from the second half at Deportivo Alexis Arguello in Managua. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Javon Shepard. We appreciate you tuning in to the third place game of the 20th ever FIBA Men's AmeriCup. Canada looking to come back right now in this game, and for a second straight game after shooting well in the group stage. They have not shot it so well from outside, Javon. How do you balance going for those versus doing what was working in the first half, which was scoring inside?
Well, I think, know, for Canada, it's really just finding a rhythm, right? And I think you're looking at both teams playing, and as well as USA has played, I still don't feel like they have full control over this game, right? You look at the biggest scoring runs for both teams, USA 7, Canada 6, right? Obviously, USA has had more runs, but if I'm Canada, right, you know one thing, you have to stop the three-point shooting of USA. You have to run them off the three-point line, or at least make sure those rotations are a lot faster, a lot crisper, so that you're getting out and contesting those shots. And if you're USA, right, you're going out there now and thinking, okay, you know Canada's going to come out and be aggressive at the line. Maybe I'm going to, you know, run a couple of my sets and see how they come out defensively. If not, then I want to attack those closeouts. You know, guys are coming out, running out under control. Okay, now I'm taking 1 or 2 dribbles to the paint, 1 or 2 dribbles to the basket, forcing another type of rotation and playing off that kick, playing off the catch. So, you know, both teams obviously went into that locker room at half and had a lot of things to discuss. And if USA has learned anything from yesterday's matchup, that it's 2 halves of basketball, right? And 40-minute game. And for Canada, right, the fortunate thing is you went into the half down, right? So you go in there knowing that this is an uphill battle. Your level of intensity has got to be a lot better, you know, coming out of that half.
USA blew a 14-point halftime lead yesterday, at one point led by 20 in the second half before Brazil came back to win the game. They are huddled up around their coach, Stephen Silas. Canada and Nathaniel Mitchell breaking the huddle. This was the matchup in the last AmeriCup in the third place game, and the United States beat Canada 84-80 to take third place. Scan that QR code, download the Courtside 1891 app for live streams, extended highlights, and information about the world of basketball, including Eurobasket, where I believe in a couple of days, 2 days from now, Italy and Spain are set to match up in what should be a good one from Eurobasket. It's the final day of the AmeriCup. Final 2 quarters for both these teams, the U.S. and Canada. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Javon Shepard. After this game, about an hour-and-a-half break, and then the final, a rematch of the last final as well, Brazil against Argentina. Keyshawn George with the basketball, inbounds it to Marcus Carr. Canada starts play in the second half. Nate Darling had that one poked away by Galloway, and now Carr feeds the cutting George. He'll pull up and connect his first points of the game.
Good, great start for Canada, right? A great start for Keyshawn George, seeing the basketball go through the hoop.
And Marcus Carr's assist total now climbing up to 5 already. Smart drives on Carr, floating it over the top of the help defender Miller. Nate Darling to the rim, slowing it down as he put it up with the right, 3 bounces, and it fell.
It's a good start for Canada coming out of the half, right? 2 good shots and 2 good makes from guys that you're going to need.
Great feed inside by Galloway, and the U.S. has scored on each of its first 2 possessions as well.
And that's the other side, right? Trading baskets.
Jack Cooley with the make right there for the United States of America. Carr gets a step, contact Galloway, and he scores.
That's nice, right? All the action is happening on the right side of the floor, and Carr reads it and attacks the basket, and explodes to the rim.
No stops yet in the third quarter. And Grant's going to pull up. And there is the first stop of the quarter. Long rebound, George. George hounded and fouled. Galloway reached in as the 2 veteran guards, Grant and Galloway, tried to hound George there. Young wing for Canada.
Yeah, and you know what I liked on the other end was Nate Darling did a really good job of being tough on the roller, right? Standing up the roller, standing his ground, but then getting right back out to the shooter.
Inbound high to George, and another foul. That time it's going to go against Grant. Galloway now on 3. That'll be Grant's first, and 2 quick ones for the USA here in the quarter. looking to get it to George again. Over the top of Smart. Wraparound, Cabangele. And no foul that time. And now a foul committed by Canada. Nate Darling trying to stop transition. Reached in on Smart.
And it's still progress there for, Canada, because those are looks that they got in the first half and weren't able to get the basketball into the post. They are force-feeding it to George, and George getting Cabangele just unable to finish it. But I like the fact that the ball is getting in to the entry point.
Starling's second, by the way. Canada's first of the half. And here's Javonte Smart. Kavanaugh 2 for 2 from 3 in the first half. Decides to go inside on a guard. Flips to the corner. Canada scrambling defensively. Leaves Galloway open. And a break there, but an offensive board. And Cooley will go to the line. Canadian defense breaking down on quick ball movement, penetration, and kicks by USA. Second half of this tournament also, Jack Cooley has been a big part of the U.S. game. And he's just hard to contend with under the hoop.
Well, you think about big part of their game, but, just a big force down low right there. Getting his body on George and getting up above Miller for the rebound. He just wanted it more, right? And you talk about being a big force for them. It's just, his will, right? You look at his frame, but the will to go with it makes it even tougher to maintain him, control him.
These teams have traded points so far in the third quarter. It's 6-6 in the quarter. That last foul was George's third, by the way. He has the ball, probing inside. Shoves off his defender, but he lost it. Galloway over the top. Cooley inside. Guards pick him up. And Kavanaugh drawing a foul off Cabangele.
Even there, that offense is created by Cooley. Right, rolls, catches, and finds Kavanaugh.
It'll be the second Cabangele foul and the third Canadian foul of this quarter. Tyler Kavanaugh trying to help the U.S. to a medal, a champion of the Bundesliga in Germany in 2020 and the Lithuanian League in 2023. Darling up top. Cabangele couldn't secure it near the baseline there. Turnover Canada. That's their 9th to 4 for the USA. Smart. And another offensive board for Cooley. Kavanaugh triple try. And that's going to be a foul on Cooley underneath, tossing Keyshawn George down to the floor. He's not going to make fighting with him under the hoop a picnic, and I think Steven Silas all right with that foul. Nate Darling now off for Canada. Trey Bell Haynes will check in. So that's the third U.S. foul of the quarter, second on Jack Cooley.
Cooley really doing a big-time job for them on the offensive glass before them. As Marcus Card does what he does, right? Dancing on the perimeter and gets downhill for 2.
Double digits now for Carr. He has 12 points in the game to go, along with his 3 rebounds and 5 assists. Smart hanging and hitting and wide. A couple pokes from behind. I believe they'll get Carr on the foul. And that's going to be a shot for the U.S. and a chance to get into their largest lead of the game as Cooley checks out and Baker comes in.
Here you see Smart just getting low, right? Lower than all the defenders, absorbing all the contact, playing through the contact and the concentration to finish a shot.
For this competition, he's got a nice mix of NBA G League experience, NBA experience, and a little bit of time internationally in Serbia as well. Also some time in the Canadian Elite Basketball League this summer. Carr pull-up, one-handed it, and a foul underneath committed by the USA. I believe Baker is going to get the foul there, battling underneath with Cabangele.
saying a big difference in both teams right now is, you know, you're looking at the bigs. Cooley checks out of the game. You come in with a different style of big with Baker, right? You have Kavanaugh on the floor that can stretch the floor, but still physically strong. You have Zach August on the floor that's on the bench, rather, that's another big-time athlete. And all those guys have, you know, experience in big-time games.
Kabengele tossing it away there. Turnover on him. He's still trying to get it going here in the second half. And now Canada is going to go with a bit of a different look as they bring on their 7-footer underneath. Giving Kabengele a rest. Here is Charles Bediako coming on for Canada. Also, Ramsey a moment ago came in on the U.S. side for Jerian Grant. And it should be noted, both teams on 4 fouls after a low foul first half. Could be a lot of free throws here in the third quarter. Kavanaugh lost it off of Miller out of bounds. Ten to shoot, USA. Galloway fading. Bediako's first rebound of the game, and it's given away to Galloway. 3-on-2 U.S. Smart, and the U.S. has a game-high lead of 17.
But, you know, that is experience I'm talking about. Bediako checks in the game, you know, comes up with the basketball, and you can tell he just looks so unsure of what his next play is and pretty much hands it over to USA.
Up top, Bediako flipping it in.
A great pass and a good finish, and hopefully that can, you know, allow some of the nerves to wash away for Bediako coming into the game.
Did not play in the first half. This is his first action of this game. Also played in the second half of the semifinal loss to Argentina. Kavanaugh baseline, finds Galloway. And misses it with the contest of George. Rebound Miller through traffic, he'll push. Up to Bell Haynes, up to the rim. Contact, no good on the first 2 tries, but Miller pursuing with good effort there to get himself to the line. There's Miller on one end getting the defensive rebound in traffic and then finding his way down to the other end of the floor. Take a look at that make moments ago by Javonte Smart.
It's a good opportunity for Miller to, you know, just see the basketball go through the hoop. He's 1 for 5 from the floor today. Coming off a game against Argentina where he shot the basketball 2 for 12. Right, so just that confidence, right? Seeing the basketball go through the hoop and getting a little rhythm, getting a little flow.
Goes 1 for 2 to make it a 14-point game. By the way, Reynolds in for Kavanaugh on the U.S. side, and they just committed their 5th foul of U.S. 3rd one on Rob Baker. Here is Baker, floater up, and a rebound Miller again. 5th rebound of the game for the forward who will carry it over half. And he'll turn the corner. Up to the rim, he scoops it in.
Right, that's what he needed. That is exactly what he needed.
12-point game, just as it was at half. Smart hangs and finds Ramsey. Youngest player on USA puts it in from the baseline.
And if USA is going to beat you by those tough shots, Carr closing out and Ramsey working the baseline and, you know, making a tough floating shot out of bounds, then you live with that.
Bediako 2-hand flush. He set the screen, then knocked down a USA defender and opened up some room. And that is going to call now a timeout for the USA. Doesn't have to reach that high, the 7-footer Bediako to get to the rim.
Good minutes for Bediako checking in and really impacting the game right away.
Had that early turnover, but since 4 straight points for the Canadian big. Also has a rebound. Scan that QR code, download the Courtside 1891 app. You can get live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of basketball. Eurobasket going on, including Italy and Spain on September 2nd, and France and Poland in Eurobasket as well on September 2nd. This game 1 of 2 here as the USA continues into their timeout. We will have the final coming up, Argentina and Brazil. And if last night is any judge, could see another packed house here in Managua. Canada looking to come back. USA and Canada tied at 15 in this third quarter. USA still maintaining their dozen-point lead they took to the break. Smart has the ball for the United States, joined by Ramsey, Galloway, Reynolds, and Baker. Out of the timeout, Bell, Haynes, George, Miller, Carr, Bediako for Canada. Bounce inside Baker. Turned away by Bediako. But now a switch. Bediako on the perimeter. Contests Smart, and he hits it over a 7-footer.
And again, if Javonte Smart and Galloway and Ramsey are going to make those shots, right, you're doing a good job defensively, Canada.
Drive inside. Miller stepping all the way to the rim.
That's nice. He's woke up, right? Now he's locked into the game. He's engaged and a difference maker for Canada.
7 points for Leonard Miller. He and Marcus Carr doing the brunt of the scoring for Canada in this half. Baker turnaround is no good. Canada with a chance to get it back to 10. Miller had his steam, takes contact, switched hands and scored with the right. Canadian bench up as it's a 10-point game again. 2.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Six to shoot. Ramsey fading away. Air ball out of bounds. And that's Canada ball going the other way as the USA brings Grant and August back onto the floor. Galloway and Baker will take a seat. Drive Bell Haynes hangs up and lost it. Reynolds with the steal. Now Smart into the paint, out to August. Swing, corner three, Ramsey. Rebound Miller once more. He's been all over the glass in this quarter. And a foul underneath. August is going to get called with one, I believe, and that'll mean free throws for Canada here, as it's the 6th U.S. foul of the quarter.
Canada slow and steady, right, getting back into this game. You have a chance here to get this thing under double digits. It's a big part of this guy's play right here. Leonard Miller, you know, in transition, showing you his talent, right, the left to right finish. You know, on his run, he's been able to use both hands and get into the open court and score fluidly. On the defensive end, Canada's done a good job of taking away that three ball that we mentioned, you know, at half. USA hasn't made a three in the second half so far.
1 for 2 trip to the line for Bediako. He has 5 in the quarter, and it's back within 10, a 9-point game. 90 seconds to go in the third. Grant, elbow pull-up. Rolls off and a rebound Carr.
Contested mid-range too, right? That's what you want from Canada, to force those type of shots from USA.
Carr inside, laying good, 7-point game. Now. And it's starting to get competitive again in Nicaragua. Zone look Canada, 2-3. Now they match up. Bediako having to guard on the perimeter. Reynolds lost it out of bounds. Canada ball.
This is similar to what we saw yesterday with USA against Brazil. It's just when things aren't going their way, when shots aren't dropping, the offense looks a little bit stagnant, right? They're a little confused with this matchup zone from Canada.
Miller to Bell Haynes. And now Carr in the mid-range, snaking his way into the key.
I mean, he's so surgical. He's so surgical. As soon as he puts the basketball on the floor, right? He's patient. He has enough handle to survey the floor and counter and change direction to get to where he wants.
5-point game. USA can hold here. Only about a 4-second differential game clock, shot clock. Smart inside, floater up, and a rebound Canada. They have time to push, and a foul is going to walk Bediako all the way down the floor to the free throw line.
Bediako's been a difference maker for Canada. As soon as he checked into the game, right, he had that one lazy turnover, but outside of that, right, he's played and really changed the trajectory and the complexion of this game for Canada. Marcus Carr as well, with, you know, tough shots like this and him getting into the paint and being creative.
Carr will sub off with just over 4 seconds to go in the quarter. Nate Darling comes on for him. Charles Bediako at 1 point on a 2-way contract with the San Antonio Spurs. Unfortunately, knee injury got in the way of that a little bit. Spent last year with the Denver Nuggets G League affiliate, the Grand Rapids Gold. Empty trip at the line, and Miller down to the floor. USA with the rebound, and a foul called with 3 seconds left. And arguably a little bit too aggressive there from Canada. There's 0.3 left. USA has it in their own half. Now it's going to be free throws, US. I just think you give the guy the open 70-footer. Yeah. Jerry Grant makes the first. And he'll hit both. That will do it for the third quarter. Canada has outscored the U.S. by 6 in the frame. And so we do have a game going into the fourth. It's a 7-point advantage, USA. 68-61, Marcus Carr, a huge part of the comeback.
Yeah, and you know what? Canada held USA to their lowest scoring quarter, 19 points. And if they take anything from that quarter, it's, you know, how disciplined they were defensively, right? Getting USA off the three-point line, forcing them into, you know, tough mid-range shots, not allowing them to get looks right under the basket as well. So you've got to continue that play in this fourth quarter.
See, it's still been an inside game for Canada, but they are shooting over 60% when they enter the arc. The USA shooting well from 3, although they have not shot nearly as many threes in this half. Let's look back at the best plays from the third quarter. Scan that QR code, download the Courtside 1891 app for live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of basketball. Canada and the United States, both with 10 more minutes.
Cambio